My name is Tom Fernabia. I run the Fish Up North YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a gear/kayak tutorial on my 2023 Hobie Outback and my fishing gear and how I catch lake trout and what I use to do it. I'm also going to give a huge shout out to Angling with Andy. I recently had my buddy Andy make a new logo for me. He also runs a YouTube channel. I want to give a huge shout out to him. Please follow and like his channel. But yeah, I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I recently just reached 100 subscribers. Super pumped about that. I'm excited. So I'm going to make this simple and just go over a quick tutorial of my kayak. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work my way from the front of the kayak all the way to the back. There's a lot that goes into my fishing kayak, as you can see right here. I have a Marina Matt. This is this black stuff that I had put down. This is called Marina Matt. I bought it from Louisiana Kayak Co. I'll leave the link in the description so you can look into that. But I got mine in a turquoise color. Definitely my favorite thing about this kayak. I love customizing it. But we'll make this nice, short, sweet, and simple. So yeah, so I have it on a kayak trailer. I'm sure you've seen in my previous video, I pretty much took a jet ski trailer and I converted it into a kayak trailer. And what I did is I took some little boots right here. This way I can support the actual kayak. I screwed them down to the 2x4, which this is supported on. These are just some retractable ratchet straps I got off Amazon. Nothing crazy. I can just kind of loop it over it and then it makes it nice and simple. The other thing I like about having a trailer too is this kayak weighs about 85 pounds, so it's pretty heavy. So what's real important is that I can just pick this up and slide it on here versus putting it another vertical difference over my car. It's just way too much work. So if you end up, the thing about these big fishing kayaks is a lot of them weigh a lot because they had to be sturdy for the water. So what a lot of people do is they either customize a trailer or they put it in the back of their truck. I don't have a backup truck. I have a mom car. I have an SUV. So that's why I got the trailer. Anyways, we'll get more into depth here. We have a front hatch right here. These little stretchy things come off right here. I have some storage right here. If I take this out, see my battery setup. I have a Hobie mount right here for my battery. Comes out very easily. Just slides out. Reason I like this kind of mount is because it keeps it elevated. So when there's water in here, nothing is going to be on my submersible battery. Even though, yeah, it's rated for water, I don't like to screw around. I keep first aid, bug spray, sunscreen, electrical tape. Just some random stuff I put in there for my front hatch. Now what I'm going to go over is the 180 drive. This is the pedal drive for my pedal driven kayak. What happens is these spin right here and it's just like an exercise bike. Now if I want to go reverse, I pull this little red lever right here. Legs instantly change. Now I can go in reverse or I can brake. So let's say I'm fishing, for example, and I see a fish under me and I need to stop. I can instantly just press this, pull this, and I'll go in reverse and I can drop down, and it makes it very simple to find fish. So when choosing a pedal kayak, it's very important that you do your research. My recommendation, go the Hobie Outback or just a Hobie. Get the 180 drive. This thing is awesome. You can go 5 miles per hour with it. It's pretty much like using an exercise bike. If I want to go in forward, they have a little leather right here. I can pull this and it'll bring me right back and forward. Really cool feature I really like about Hobie. That's what kind of really sold me on this kind of kayak. I'll set this down. Basically what happens is this Mirage drive goes right in that slot and it becomes like an exercise bike. It's very awesome to use. Oops, we'll just take that out. Very simple to use. You have a decent amount of floor space right here. I like to call this the workshop. I have another storage component right here. I got a little flap for my phone. I can put whatever in here. It even comes with a bottle opener. You have storage right here. You have flaps that come out right here so you can put all kinds of stuff. I like to keep the fish grips in there or anything odd. You have all kinds of holes for pliers, for grips, for hooks, whatever. It's awesome. What's even nice about these is they have track mounts. So for example, this Yak Attack track mount for my fish finder, which is absolutely awesome, slides right into this track right here, and then I can mount that down and do whatever I want with it. It has an adjustment right here and an adjustment right here. This is my Humminbird Helix 5. This is what I use to catch lake trout. I put it on the ice setting. This way I can vertically drop down and find the fish. That's what I do. You heard it first. I just use my 2D sonar, drop down, and I look for lake trout just using that. It's like ice fishing, pretty much. But I'll go more into that later. I am going to do some fishing today. So hopefully I can show you how I actually catch the lake trout. It's very simple. It's really just drop and jig. That's it. Anyways, I have my Vantage seat right here. I put a little storage bag on the back of here for even more stuff. But this seat actually has lumbar support. So this way the windings in here will actually kind of crimp up, and it makes the seat a lot more stiffer and a lot more comfortable. So the seat is huge. I could even pull this seat out and use it as a lawn chair if I want to, which makes it even more nice. But this is my workshop area right here. I forgot to mention I have 2 rod holders right here. Not a big deal. You do have a rudder that'll come down. And how do you control that? You pull this right here. And basically what it does when you're on the water, you can drop that down, and then I can aim, as I'm using my Mirage drive to push myself forward, I can use this right here to steer where I want to go. And this controls the rudder. There's one here and there's one on this side. Very nice feature. If I go to shore, I can pull this right back up and the rudder will lift itself up. It's a super cool feature. The sonar also has a retractable mount as well. Right underneath, I'll bring the GoPro under so you can see there's a retractable mount right here, and this can go up and down as well. So this way you can use the down imaging feature. Super cool. The next thing I'm going to go into is my tackle box. I rigged this tackle box with 2 tie down straps. Normally all I put in here is I just put lures and baits in here. I don't really keep any fish, but if I ever really want to, I can use this to keep a fish inside there. But I mainly just put lures, tackle, food, whatever inside. It's just really nice storage. I decked it out with some stickers. Huge shout out to Matt Gilbert from Vermont 2U. He makes the vertical tube jig, which is a lure that I'm going to go into very shortly later. This is my lake trout smacker right here. As you can see on the back end, I have 2 H rails that I mounted just for more support. These bars that kind of stick out right here, that's a custom feature I put on. You have a track mount here and you have another track mount here. And the back of here, you have a decent amount of room for storage or for whatever. I don't use too much of it, but if you're going to do some serious backcountry trips, this is a great way to get out and actually see if you can put some more storage in. These are my wheels. This is how I transport the kayak. I'm sure you've seen in my last videos, this comes out right here. And this is how I wheel the kayak out. There's a scudder hole here and here that I can pretty much, once I take this kayak off, I can just slip it right into there, and then I can basically just use those to pull the kayak anywhere. And that's mainly the whole base of the Hobie Outback. This is a more newer kayak, so it has a lot more newer features. But this thing has been absolutely life-changing for me. Just because I can exercise and I can fish at the same time, seriously makes a good difference on my fishing game. I bought this kayak brand new and I customized it myself. Now, reason being I did that because I wanted this to be exactly what I wanted. Anyways, I'm going to get into the gear that I use, and I'm going to get into what I actually use to catch lake trout. Alright, so I recently had a comment asking what kind of line and gear I use when I'm catching lake trout. I'll tell you right now, this is what I use. So what this is this is a vertical tube jig. This is basically a handcrafted lure. made by my friend Matt Gilbert from Vermont too. You give him a follow, like, and subscribe. He has basically a platform called the Vertical Tube Jig, and he makes these lures. They're specific for salmon and lake trout. Highly recommend. I'll leave a link down below so you can purchase these. As you can see, it's been kind of handcrafted. It's got a nice tail right here, and he coats this end right here. And what you can do is you can throw a tube right over it. And this is a 2-ounce white VTJ right here. That's what I call them. And the line and the reel I'm using is, this is basically just a bass pole. This is a medium heavy 7-foot with 15-pound braid, Power Pro. Everybody's familiar with Power Pro. And then I use 10-pound fluorocarbon. What I do is I give myself a 6-foot leader. I splice the 2 lines together. I use a double uni knot. I'm not a knot tire. I just do a knot that holds. So that's what I do. You can that's what I do to splice the lines. I use a double uni knot. YouTube it. I'm not going to go over that. And basically what I do is I use my fish finder right here. I put that on ice mode, and I drop down and I find the fish. And usually I try to just get my lure as close to the fish as possible. I'll show you what I mean when I get out in the water. But that's what I use as my gear. I usually carry about 3 poles on me. When you're on a kayak, you really don't need that many poles. I'm not really a fan of bringing 100 different poles with you. You only need 1 rod to catch 1 big fish. 1 fish will make the entire day for you. So that's what I use to catch lake trout. I really recommend looking into the VTJ. The sizes I particularly use is I use 2-ounce and 3-ounce. If I'm in more shallow water, I'll throw a 1-ounce jig on. I also have been getting really into using swim baits. What I have here is I just have a 1-ounce single hook jig with a Parson swim bait on it. I will also leave the link down below for Parson swim baits. Check out their lures. They serve Fish 307 and a bunch of other outlets. But that's mainly what I use. I just use big heavy jigs. I drop down and I find the fish. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'm gonna leave a link for all my gear and the VTJs down below. I go out on hot summer days and I find the lake trout in deep water. In the summer they go deepest, and then more towards the fall they start to come more shallow, and then they actually have to spawn. But right now it's August, so they're not spawning, so I can still fish for Lakers, which is super crucial, super important. And they actually start getting some colors. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to take this out in the water, and we're going to do some fishing. And hopefully I can get some fish, and I can show y'all how I actually catch lake trout using a vertical tube jig. I got the kayak set up, rigged out, ready to go. I've got my 2-ounce VTJ. I'm going to get to my spot. Let's go. 126 feet. I got a Laker. Hell yeah. Off the coffee tube. Yes. Oh, here he is. I see him. Well, he's kind of decent sized. Oh yeah. Let's go. Woo! Yeah! Alright, I'm gonna set this guy free. Look at that. I got a nice lake trout off the coffee tube. Very nice fish. Yeah, all I caught this lake trout on was my 2-ounce VTJ. Dropped it right down, found him, just made aggressive jigs, and boom. Look what I got as a nice result. Nice lake trout. And 120 feet. I'm gonna mark that spot. These guys are watching me. But that's a nice solid Laker. There he goes. Sweet. I got that lake trout on the coffee tube, the Strike King coffee tube with my VTJ. The two go very well together. But yeah, that's basically how I catch lake trout. Very simple concept. Takes a lot of patience, but it's fun. When you get out here, it's pretty fun. I didn't get skunked, so that made me happy.